In the shadow of a ruined city, a new day breaks over Jerusalem. The temple, once the heart of a nation, lies in a state of solemn disrepair, a silent testament to a people's exile and their long-awaited return. It is here, among the scattered stones and memories of a glorious past, that our story begins. The word of the Lord, a fire in the bones of the prophets, Haggai and Zechariah, ignited the spirits of the returned exiles. They had come back to a land that was both home and a foreign country, their task to rebuild not just a temple, but a future. The prophets moved through the weary crowd, their hands lifted not in despair, but in divine appointment. Their words cut through the dust and the doubt. Courage, long dormant, began to stir. Faces turned upward, filled with a renewed resolve. Spurred on by this heavenly call, the leaders of the people, Zerubbabel son of Shealtiel and Joshua son of Yozadak, stepped forward. They unrolled the plans, marked the stones, and with faith as their foundation, began again to build the house of God. The work resumed with a quiet, disciplined intensity. Under the watchful supervision of the Levites, the sounds of reconstruction filled the air. Massive ashlar blocks were hoisted into place, their edges meeting with precision. The rhythmic strike of the chisel, the carpenter's measured hand setting timbers into the rising walls, the taut line of the plumb bob, ensuring every stone was true. It was a symphony of creation. This was more than construction. It was an act of worship, a testament of faith. And through it all, they were not alone. The scripture tells us that the eye of their God was upon the elders of the Jews. He saw their labor, their dedication, and their hope, and his gaze gave them strength. But their progress did not go unnoticed. Soon, a procession of officials arrived from across the Euphrates River. Tattenai, the governor of the province, along with Shethar-bozenai and their colleagues, approached the worksite. They were figures of imperial authority, their presence a stark contrast to the humble builders. With scribes at the ready to record every word, Tattenai posed the official questions. Who authorized you to build this temple and to finish its walls? What are the names of the men carrying on this work? The air grew tense. Here was the test. Would this great work be halted before it had truly begun? The Jewish elders answered respectfully, their voices steady. They did not pause their labor, a subtle act of defiance rooted in their divine commission. They stated their case, and the scribes dutifully noted it all down. Their testimony was not just a defense of their current actions, but a recounting of their sacred history. We are the servants of the God of heaven and earth. Tay declared. They spoke of the first temple, a magnificent structure built long ago by a great king of Israel. They recounted the painful history of their ancestors, who provoked the God of heaven to anger, leading to the destruction of that house and their exile to Babylon under King Nebuchadnezzar. But that was not the end of their story. They spoke of a new Donna, of Cyrus, the great king of Persia, who, in his very first year, issued a decree. God's house in Jerusalem was to be rebuilt. The sacred gold and silver articles, which Nebuchadnezzar had taken, were returned to a man named Sheshbazzar, whom Cyrus appointed governor. He brought these articles back and laid the foundation of the house of God in Jerusalem. And from that day to this, the work has been in progress, though it is not yet complete. Their right to build was not of their own making. It was ordained by the highest law in the land, the decree of the king himself. Having heard their testimony, Tattenai acted with administrative diligence. A letter was carefully composed. He and his associate Shimshai dictated the report to King Darius in the official Aramaic script. The letter was a faithful account of what they had seen and heard. It described the elders of the Jews rebuilding the house of the great God. It noted their diligence, how they were building with large stones and setting timbers in the walls, and how the work was prospering in their hands. The letter conveyed the builders' claim that a decree had been made by King Cyrus to rebuild this house of God. Tattenai concluded with a formal request that a search be made in the royal archives in Babylon to see if this decree from Cyrus truly existed. And, he asked, let the king send us his decision in this matter. The letter was sealed with wax, a symbol of its official weight, and handed to couriers. Against a vast desert horizon, the riders departed, carrying with them the fate of the temple, their destination, the heart of the Persian Empire, where the records of kings were kept. Back in Jerusalem, a period of waiting began. The response from King Darius could take weeks, or even months. The dust from the couriers' horses settled, but the builders did not lay down their tools. They glanced at the road, perhaps with a flicker of apprehension, but their hands remained steady. The elders conferred with calm resolve, their faith unshaken. The work continued. Why? Because the eye of their God was still upon them. Tattenai and the officials did not stop them, but allowed the work to proceed, pending the king's reply. Day turned to afternoon, and afternoon to evening. The walls rose incrementally, a slow, steady climb toward the heavens. In the determined eyes and unwavering hands of the workers, we see a profound lesson. The courage to build even while you wait for an answer, trusting that God's purpose will prevail. As dusk settles over the city, the new stonework glows in the fading light, a line of hope set true against the evening sky. The nascent outline of the house of God is once more taking shape on the horizon. In this quiet moment, we see the heart of their story, a people holding on to a promise, building a future on a foundation of faith, with the courage to continue their work while waiting for the verdict of kings, knowing they were already under the gaze of the King of Heaven. Thank you for watching. Be sure to subscribe to see what happens next when the King's reply arrives.